Welcome back to Valley Frog. Today we got something real dark for you. Animes that don't sugarcoat life. Series that are not afraid to show some dark characters. And very much raw and unfiltered content. So without me yapping too much, let's get right into the list. Shiki starts off in a quiet a quiet village. Peaceful, right? Not so long. Natsuno Yuki just moved in and he's about to regret it. Along with him, some new neighbors arrive, and let's just say they're not entirely normal. Then people start mysteriously dying, but no one questions it too much because, small town logic. Yuki realizes something bigger is going on, and he mysteriously sees a girl who died recently stalking him. I won't show who for spoiler's sake. This is where the show truly shines. It doesn't go full monster horror right away. It lets the paranoia and dread slowly build. By the time the villagers realize they're being haunted, it's already too late. The vampires aren't just mindless killers either. They struggle, they suffer, and some don't even want to kill, but survival demands it. Higurashi when they cry is what happens when you take a wholesome countryside setting yet again, fill it with cute anime characters, and then slowly peel back the layers until you're drowning in paranoia, blood, and sheer psychological torment. It starts with Keiichi, a city boy who moves to the quiet village of Hinamizawa. Everything seems chill, he makes friends, enjoys festivals, life is good. But then, weird stuff keeps happening. People go missing, gruesome murders from the past get brought up, and his friends start acting off. One day, they're smiling, the next, they're staring him down like he's the next on the chopping block. This is where Higurashi goes from cute slice of life to full-blown nightmare fuel. But what makes it truly dark isn't just the gore, it's the psychological horror. The show masterfully makes you second guess everything. Is the curse real? Who is lying? Is what they see even real? It's a slow burn descent into madness where no one is safe. Hellsing Ultimate. It is pure, unfiltered carnage. This isn't your typical vampire story, where the humans die and the vampires thrive. This is a blood-soaked massacre where the biggest monster is actually on our side. Enter Alucard, the most powerful vampire in existence, working for the Hellsing organization to eradicate anything that dares to challenge humanity. And he doesn't just kill, he obliterates his enemies with a sadistic grin, making sure they know just how powerless they are before wiping them out. Next up on the list is subscribe to Valley Frog. Yes, I said it. Death Parade takes the idea of the afterlife and twists it into something deeply unsettling. There's no heaven or hell, just a mysterious bar where the recently deceased are forced to play high-stakes games to determine their fate. Sounds kinda simple. Yeah, not even close. These aren't just casual games. They're psychological torture. Darts, bowling, air hockey, all rigged to inflict real pain while exposing a person's deepest fears, regrets, and sins. As the games escalate, people break down, revealing their ugliest sides, proving just how fragile morality becomes when survival is on the line. The players don't even know that they're dead. They kind of feel like they just woke up in like a saw trap, that they're about to get, I want to play a game type of thing. The Promised Neverland. Season 1. Yes, and only Season 1. As I already mentioned in a previous video of mine where I talked about the series, let's forget that Season 2 exists. Moving on. The show starts off looking like a sweet, wholesome story about orphans living their best life in a cozy little home. After they grow up, apparently they get adopted by a good family. Yeah, moving on. Emma, Norman, and Ray are the brightest kids in the bunch, and their caretaker, Isabella, is all smiles and warmth. Seems like a dream, right? Yeah, no. The darkness creeps in fast. One night, Emma and Norman sneak past the orphanage gates and find something horrific. The kids don't really get adopted, but they're used as food by some kind of monstrosities. Because it turns out that Gracefield House isn't an orphanage, it's a human farm. And the kids are being raised until they're seen as mature enough for eating to these monstrosities. Elfen Lied, or Elfen Lead, to be honest, I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but it's not just a dark anime. It is brutal. It opens with Lucy, a mutated human called a Diclonius. Diclonius sounds like a dinosaur. Tearing apart guards with invisible arms as she escapes a lab. Sounds already quite insane. But the real horror isn't just the gore, it's the human cruelty that made her this way. Lucy wasn't born a monster, you see. She's not just some kind of failed lab project. She was purposely turned into one through relentless torture and isolation. Her split personality, New, shows the heartbreaking contrast between innocence and pure vengeful rage. And when that rage takes over, no one is safe. Elfen Lied is a tragic, violent dive into abuse, power, and whether the true monsters are born or created. Monster. I'm sure many of you have heard of Monster, but it's truly a worth watching show. In Monster, what happens is that a brilliant doctor saves the wrong life and ends up unleashing pure evil. Dr. Kenzo Tenma, a top brain surgeon, chooses to save a young boy named Johan instead of an important politician. Years later, bodies start piling up and Tenma realizes he didn't just save a life, he saved a monster. Meanwhile, Tenma's life crumbles as he becomes both hunter and hunted, questioning his own morality as he tries to stop the nightmare he created. My beloved ReZero. To be honest, it's really a great show because it really breaks the barrier between just a stereotypical isekai to becoming something just completely sickening, to be honest. And that's what makes it so special. ReZero, it, as I said, looks like a standard isekai until the main character, Subaru, realizes his only power is dying painfully and coming back to redo his failures while he remembers everything, and every death resets him to a checkpoint. And trust me when I say this, there's a lot of deaths because unlike most isekais, Subaru is not OP or have any skills really. His only skill is to get revived in that world. And the horror isn't just in the gore, it's the psychological torment. Subaru watches his friends die, loses his sanity and spirals into despair until realizes that there is an unseen force pulling the strings and a fate worse than death haunting him. Rainbow Six Siege, Rainbow, the anime, is pure suffering from start to finish. It's not just dark, it's brutal. The story follows 7 teenagers thrown into a hellish reform school in 1950s Japan, where instead of rehabilitation, they're met with sadistic abuse, torture, and outright dehumanization. Their biggest nightmare are the corrupt prison guards and twisted doctors who take pleasures in breaking them physically, mentally, and emotionally. And these aren't just punishments, they're acts of cruelty designed to strip away every ounce of hope. Beatings, humiliation, sexual abuse, it's all on the table. And no one is coming to save them. Their brotherhood is the only thing keeping them from losing themselves completely. Paranoia Agent. I would say it's pretty underrated. Paranoia Agent starts off with a simple premise. Tokyo is being terrorized by a so-called Lil Slugger, a mysterious kid on rollerblades who attacks people with a golden bat. And the cops chase after him, thinking he's just some delinquent, but the more they dig, the weirder and darker it gets. Little Slugger isn't just attacking random people, he's going after those trapped in mental and emotional despair. Victims include an overworked designer, a corrupt cop, and even a little girl with split personalities. Is he real? A ghost? A shared delusion? The answer is even more disturbing. Thank you guys so much for watching the whole list. Make sure to sub this channel, it will definitely help us out for the long run. And comment if you want to see more of these top 10 lists and I'll be sure to bring them. See you next time.